Phew, this conversation is just throwing me out of my comfort zone. Welcome back, everybody. This is part 2 of my conversation with Apostle man, I can't even say his name, Makhado, because my heart is racing. We got cut off because of the network, but we're going to continue with the conversation. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I have spoken to him over the phone. That's why we had to take a minute. We're going to continue with the conversation. I'm just going to wait for him to join and request. It's a very tricky and sensitive conversation, but I really need you guys to listen with an open ear so that you understand exactly what he's saying. This is a man who has experienced this, who speaks from understanding and practice, you know. It's very, very scary. It's very, very scary. It's very real. I'm literally shaking. I'm just waiting for him to request so that I continue. I can't see his request as yet. So I'm just going to wait a minute, you know, just to see where he is. It's very uncomfortable. I see your comments. Jackie, what experiences do victims have after a cult member has been victimized? We're going to answer all those questions after he really narrates the entire story. I'm going to open the comment section so that we answer your questions. Remember, this is a pastor who was in a cult, who practiced it, who had a church that practiced it. This is in Pretoria now. They used different girls and boys for different sacrifices. They used animals. They used blood. They used traditional medicine. It is quite evident that it's a scary, scary thing to even think about, and just to think that it exists and he has lived it. So I'm just waiting for him to request. I'm not sure. Guys, do you see him somewhere? Maybe I missed him. There he is. I found him. I'm going to switch off the comments now so that we can continue with the conversation. And then in the last 15 minutes of the conversation, I'm going to open the comment sections so that I answer all the questions. So this is a global problem. It's just not Pretoria based. It's everywhere in the world. And I don't want people just to think that it's only happening in South Africa. It's happening everywhere. As you can hear, he had to travel to Nigeria to perform these rituals and to get indoctrinated and to get initiated so that he understands what he needs to do. Welcome back, Pastor.
Thank you so much. I am sorry. It was the network that cut.
No problem. So my question is, because I couldn't hear you properly in the last conversation, my question is, was there a time where you were requested by these spirits or these cult leaders to have sexual interactions with young people, young or old people of any race, to feed this demon that you were already initiated into? Was there a time that happened?
In my instant, am I clear enough?
I can
my
hear
volume
you.
okay?
Yes, your volume is fine.
Okay, thank you. In my instant, there was no obligation for me to have any sexual relationship in a sense of sacrifice. As I've indicated, that the route that I took, it was more of animal sacrifices. I did not take a route where I chose to do my body as a sacrifice. So there was no obligation or any command for me to use my body as an instrument of sexual sacrifices to innocent people or young people.
But with your associates, so the people that you looked up to who initiated you, so the other pastors that got you into this, did you perhaps know any of them who were using this specific ritual to maintain their power, especially in South Africa, the ones that you were dealing with, that you were part of in terms of a brotherhood clique? Were there ones that were using this that you know of?
Remember, these decisions that you take, they are more of personal and private. But looking into the lifestyle, looking into the lifestyle of those associates during that time, I will say that most of them, they choose that kind of a lifestyle or a sacrifice, because they did not only have multiple relationships, but you will hear often cases of rape, molestation, and other cases.
But now, if they did that, did they have specific places where they would do it, or they would do it at home, or in the church building, or in hotels? So you just need the actual person, right? You don't need a specific place to do it. You just need this body of this human being.
In my book, The Church Mafia, I wrote of an incident that happened where this associate of mine came back from a crusade hosted by one man of God who wanted the preacher to come and revive the church. And guess what happened? He ended up sleeping with the pastor's wife. Because once you have that kind of a ritual where it's a demonic ritual, wherever you go, whether you meet people who have got high moral standard, because of the demonic influence that you have housed in your body, you are able to get any person that you want. So a lot of time I will hear cases following this person. Wherever he goes for crusade, I mean, he will even sleep with the wife of the host. You can just imagine how worse was that. I mean, he will even sleep with any woman in that particular church. So they just do it wherever, however. They don't have a specific place where they do. And most of the target are the worshippers. In my second book, initiated by my spiritual father, I show in a fictional novel, I saw how these occult leaders, they groom these young ladies. They give them high standard to live where they are not able to have boyfriends, and they stay in the church compound, and every night the cult leader will just interchange them. This night he will sleep with this one, the other night he will sleep with that other one, and in one instant he will even sleep with all 5 of them in one room. So this is how far this thing is going. They are young ladies who are sexual sacrifices for these cults, and in exchange of money, in exchange of high position in the church, in exchange of cars, in exchange of the good life these young ladies are looking for. So they give you the good life, and they use them for sexual sacrifices.
Okay, so let's go back to the actual practices in the church. So you're growing in popularity in that community, and things are going well for you. I hear you were not supposed to be part of the worshiping process when the church started. For an example, on a Sunday or Saturday when the church when the church time comes, right? And
Yes.
people start singing gospel songs and they start worshiping just before you deliver your message of the day. What was that about? Why were you not supposed to be part of the worshiping process?
All right. Remember, before the church starts, where the church will take place, they will use some rituals. Others, they use water. They sprinkled water in that place. It's part of the system. They use the water which they use to bath dead bodies. So they take that water, they sprinkle it before people can walk into the church. Others, they use oils, and they just put oils around the chest. They rub, they clean. So they actually prepare the place, the hall, the seats, the chairs, for a point of contact for these particular demons. Now, when members moved and walked into the church, sitting down there, it gives them an allowance for these demons to have access to these people as they worship, as they do everything, thinking that you are worshiping God, but not being aware that the environment where you are is an occult altar. So one of the reasons why these pastors they come late is because they wait for information that could have been collected by ushers from innocent people. Why are you here? What is your problem? What is your name? Where do you stay? Who is your husband? All those information are collected and they are sent to the pastor who will use them as prophecy. That's one of the reasons. Now, the other reason is that once the pastor moved in, they will close the door. Nobody has to move out. Nobody has to move in. So that the spirit that he enters with, it becomes a final spirit of authority. Everybody will be under his spell because they took time seated on those chairs that have been wrapped with oils, with occultic oils. They've taken their time dancing on grounds that has been sprinkled with water that has washed dead people. So all those elements, they prepare a person to be a zombie who will be under a spell of these cult leaders.
Okay. I'm just blown away here. Number one, where do pastors, men of God and prophetess get dead bodies that they can wash and use the water to wash the church or sprinkle in the church? Where do they get the dead bodies? Is it
Ask
mortuaries?
yourself a question: why a lot of churches they own mortuary or mocks? Just ask
Mock
yourself.
businesses, yeah.
Yeah, because once your church starts to grow, you have to own that business. It looks as a business, but you know that you are using it for occultic reasons. It is not every person. I want this to be clear. It is not every person who is into that business doing wrong things. There are those who are doing it for only spiritual purposes.
Okay, so they go, they wash people's dead bodies. So these are people that are supposed to be buried maybe during the weekend or at some point. They need to be buried, right?
Yes.
The families of those people don't know that these people's bodies are being washed without their knowledge and permission, right?
Yes. Yes.
Then they take the remains of that. Is there a possibility that they might also take body parts and use them without the families knowing that body parts are missing from those bodies?
There is that possibility, but I have never come across that instant. I've never come across that experience. But I think there is that possibility because if you remember very well, some point some years ago, there was an instant where some people died in the church and they stayed there for some time because they wanted the decay to happen. You don't just do things like normal people. You do things by instruction. People's body has to decay. The fats of the humans has to come out in that particular place as part of those rituals. Then that is where other body parts they can miss in such instance. And they are not just missing because they disappeared, but they are missing because they are used for rituals. So that is the situation.
Man. Okay, granted. People's bodies are being used with water and other medicinal herbs, right?
Yes.
They wash the church, they sprinkle things in the church, most probably outside in the gardens, those who have big churches that have yards. So they put stuff in the yard, right?
Yes.
So that when you step in, you step into this devil's altar, basically.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The pastor now is given instructions not to enter the church until the spirits have consumed the atmosphere and everybody is within that environment at that moment, right?
That's correct.
Then when the time has come, he comes in as if he is a god, right?
That's correct.
In a
Yes.
sense, Yahore, he's got bodyguards, he's got these people that walk with him that could potentially be other demons that are with him.
Yes.
He comes in at a specific time and stands in front of everybody and delivers a godly message using the Bible scripture that we use as Christians to deliver satanic messages without people realizing it. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. And just to add on that, part of that entourage that works with the pastor, some of them, they are not Christians. Some of them, they are deep traditional doctors. Some of them, they are these ones that we know as Dr. Mama, Professor, whosoever that we see in our cities. So those are some of the entourage that surrounds this man with intention to protect him. That is why he can tell you that I am untouchable. It is not because of he is born powerful. It is because of the close associate that is moving with him. He has got traditional doctors, personal traditional doctor that moves with him.
So, yeah, that's just mind blowing when I see associations, because I think and I analyze analyze people all the time. Why are you associated with this one? What is it in for you? I see a lot of celebrities associated with politicians, celebrities associated with traditional doctors. Not that anything is wrong, nothing is wrong, but I personally question the relationship and the increase of those relationships where you see now everybody has this personal sangoma that moves with them everywhere, whether they're being initiated or not. And guys, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying my analysis of what's happening in the world currently is these powerful associations happening right in front of our eyes without us understanding the cracks of the relationship. And yes, I understand also that everybody's friendships and relationships are sacred and private and we don't need to know. But in just my analysis from what you're saying right now, it makes me question these relationships that you see a business person with a great portfolio, is in mining or is in corporate or it's in media, and you see this politician clinging to this person who has no business interests. They don't have the same workspaces. You see them together all of a sudden, and then in the bridge of that, you see the sangoma being used as an anchor of this relationship. You see young people being used in their entertainment spaces where there are house parties, there are picnics, whatever you can call it, all white or whatever. But you see the top hierarchy of these people. You see the powerful politician, the business person, the celebrity, and other associates that carry these people in these environments or spaces. That's just my analysis when I look at the social lifestyle of people and how these things are sort of intertwined so that we don't become suspicious, we don't ask questions, we don't see the source of the power in extreme fame, in extreme political power, in extreme business power. We don't see the source. So what you're saying right now, for me as a writer and a researcher, it's mind-blowing because I see all these relationships online. I see them. I see them when we go to restaurants. I see them when we're in public spaces, that how this person is so young, this one is so old, but they bond. There's something unique and different about their bond. And please get me, I'm not saying all of them. People have reasons why they have friends. It's not all of them. It's just my analysis that there's the growing culture of power, and how these power dynamics link up, and we only see it portrayed as friendships online, because that's where we are, that's where we see the pictures. But what you're saying right now just freaks me out as a human being.
And that was, and this is what is happening. This is the reality that we are faced with. You see top and influential people who are very close associated to cult leaders. I mean, you ask yourself a question where a person who's supposed to be a pastor who frequents traditional houses for spiritual consultation, and they don't have a problem with that because of they fall under one house. Remember the brotherhood. The brotherhood principle says in whatever space you are in, you should be able to embrace your own brother in the other space, because you might be a pastor in your space, but you are to associate with a traditional doctor who belongs into the brotherhood as well. So that association has something that is more stronger than what the eye can see.
Okay. Whew. Okay.
And okay, I'm just reminded of something. In case of singers, you will find them even mentioning the name of these traditional doctors in their song. I mean, they will praise them so much. It is not a coincidence, but they know that they are praising for the work that has been done for them to get the fame.
Yeah, because what I also, this is now a global issue where you see in music videos and movies the signs and the symbolisms, and us as young people, we just sing along to songs. You just sing, vulgate, vulgate. Not that I'm saying vulgate has there's any spiritual connotations, but I'm just saying, you sing along to songs, but you don't know what you're praising. You don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're declaring. You don't know what that song means to the person who wrote it when they were worshiping whatever they were worshiping.
That's true.
You understand? So that's why I say we need to be more conscious. What do words mean? What are those affirmations? What are those symbolisms? The things that we see on our screens. What do those signs mean? Those numbers that are always repeated on people, the logos. What does that logo mean? What does it represent? Why are you so obsessed with this specific sign that you have to always repeat it in your practices, in your songs, in your speech, when you're delivering a speech? There's always these things that they say that sort of surpass people, and people don't notice because they've heard it so many times that they've become sort of numb to this thing, and they in their own private spaces they repeat these affirmations in songs and in music videos and movies without us realizing what was worshipped to
During that time.
create this
Yes.
big monster that you see as fame, as you see as popularity, as you see as power, as you see as a person who's got aura. It fascinates me and also scares me that our young people don't research, they don't listen properly, they don't engage, they don't ask questions, they receive, and store to a point where somebody remembers lyrics subconsciously without hesitation, but they don't see the affirmation of cultism in those words, because we don't know the source of where these things come from all of a sudden. I want to go back to the church now, because this is now your story, your testimony. I want to go back to that. Your church is growing now. This is months down the line. You have attracted what you've attracted. In terms of material things, what are the things that you got out of the cult itself? Cars, money. How were you spending what you were receiving in that moment, and how was that influencing the message that you were preaching in church? Because you've got people who are hopeful, who are seeking motivation, who are seeking inspiration in the church, who are seeking deliverance, and they see this man who now has these things. What message are you teaching at that time when you are practicing these satanic practices in the church using the Bible?
The kind of things that I acquired during that time, I did not acquire the cars, I did not acquire the luxury houses. It was more of money that I had to send back to the occult, because of they told me that the money that I should make in my consultation or during the crusades or any service, it should be the money that I should send back to them, so that they will be able to increase the kind of power they have given me. Remember, once you go there, they give you a high amount that you are able that you should pay, and you will go out promising them that you will pay that huge amount by installment. So once you start see things happening, you should take all the little money that you have, you send it back to them before you can start making money for yourself. So in that state, I was still beginning and sending money to them, and also moving to other countries searching for more power.
But now you speaking of repayments, commission-based payments, borderline money laundering in the church, because you getting money from whatever source, right? Moving it to a different country to gain your power. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I will get money from wherever source that I will acquire money from, and I will send money as a gift. By that time, it was not more of money laundering. It was more of a continuous gift that one has to give to the house that was situated in Nigeria, the occultic house.
Okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting to understand. Please bear with me. I'm processing. Man. What are the miracles were you performing in the church to make people believe that Christ was in their presence?
It depends with the situation or what was the problem of a person. If a person comes and say, I can't sleep at night, I'm being troubled, I feel things that are moving in the house, you will give them something like water that has been mixed with some muti to drink, and that water will make the person to see things, to hallucinate, to see spirits moving in the house, to see whatever unimaginable figures, and they come back to you and say, after you have given me this water, this is what happened to me. So you use their response and their results as a way to explain to them that there is a form of witchcraft practice that is following them. So you show them one slide of a miracle or something that puzzles them, and you use that as a way to show and prove to them that they've been followed by a witchcraft. In other instances, we will go to people's house and we will dig out there, and we dig things out and say, this head that you see or these bones that you see, they are the ones that are lowering your success. They are the ones that are bewitching you, while those are the things that we brought along to dig them out from a person's house.
Okay, hold on. So a person says, I'm going through a situation, and you as a pastor say, okay, let's go to your house to go pray for you and check what's going on with the environment. But you bring along things, physical things, that you hide somewhere and then put in the yard and pretend as if they were there all along to create the illusion of help and to create the illusion of they were sick in the first place. They were put there by other people or other spirits. And you pretend as if you just took them out and they are healed or they are healing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's correct. We will come with, it can be money that is wrapped with some scary things. We will take those things and we'll just put it somewhere in the house and we say, let us pray. We pray and we don't take it the same day. I mean, you put it somewhere, maybe where clothes are in the wardrobe. You know, when you pray and the pastor goes room to room, you just allow the pastor to move room to room praying. Then you insert whatever object that you came with, very scary one, you just put it anywhere. Then you leave, you go home, and you tell them, watch this week, God is going to show you a miracle. During the week, one will go to that drawer, which they don't normally use, trying to get that shirt. As he pulls the shirt, and that object will come out. And guess what? They will all scream and shout and say, Pastor, come and see what has happened. And we show them and say, this is nothing. There is more that is happening in this house. You need to get another oil. And you take them from one level of buying the oil to the most expensive oil that they need to get.
Yeah. And I just want to remind people who are watching this conversation that, remember, this is a spiritual warfare. And it's a psychological warfare, you know. They're playing mind games with you to make you believe that they can create the impossible for you. And it's not even traditional healers now. He's a pastor speaking from a prophetic experience. You know, you might not go seek a sangoma, but here you are seeking a pastor. A pastor then uses traditional medicine to influence your outcome and influence your belief system. And he puts things in your yard when you're not even watching. You're thinking he's here to pray and he's using holy water just to increase his influence, to increase his business, because you're buying one cheap one and then you go into the extreme. From buying something that's 50 Rand, you're going to go buy something that's 15,000 Rand.
That's correct.
Yo, man. Okay, let's move on. So these things are happening, right? You're still married at this time. What is your wife saying? Because we see wives, they go to church with the pastor, everything looks perfect. You know, we respect them, we love them. When the pastor's not there, we go to them, we worship them equally, we give them the same respect. Where is your wife in all of this when you are doing these things in the church, outside of the church, in people's homes? Where is your wife? Does she have any knowledge of what's going on at this present time? And what's her involvement in this?
Every time when I have to respond about the presence of my wife during that time up until now, I thank God for marrying a kind of a woman I did. Number one, she was never involved in those things. She did not understand what I was doing, and I tried to convince her by telling her that this was just a prophetic move. Remember, we got married as a pastor. I was a pastor, but now I had changed from being a pastor into becoming a prophet. So I tried to explain to her very hard and said, this is a prophetic move. And this is what made us not to gel together. This is what brought a lot of family disputes between me and her, because spiritually we could not click, but she continued to pray. She was there praying and trusting the living God. And I remember the other time when I started doing the one-on-one in our houses. You can imagine people coming to take spiritual bath, using the same bath where the family is supposed to use it, just because of I've decided to take this road. So she has been there for me, praying, and I did not involve her in all these things.
Okay, I'm glad you spoke about spiritual baths. You are a pastor. Why are you giving people spiritual baths at your house? How does that work?
The purpose of the spiritual bath, it came from a perspective where you advise somebody who is looking for luck. They want to get a job. They want to get business tender. So you tell them that the only way for them to go and win what they are looking for, it is when they take a bath. But the main purpose for them to take a bath, it was that the water that they use there in the bath and all the concoction that I will mix there in that bath will make them to keep on coming for more consultation in my house.
How much was a consultation?
It was 100 rand, 100 rand.
And the oils, how much were the oils? And were there other things that you were selling except oils?
When you consult, you will get the bottle of oil for 100 rand.
And how big is the bottle? Was it big,
It
50
was,
mil, 100 mil? It's like a
yeah, it
50
was
mil.
20 mils. Yeah, it was small.
What's that oil? What type of oil is that? Where do you get the oil?
This oil are manufactured. I was the one manufacturing this oil. I will buy a normal oil from the shop, and after buying the normal oil, I will mix it with the oil from this calabash that I had collected from these different countries. So every bottle that I would sell, it was already mixed with the oil from these other calabashes that are inside the room.
So, for an example, how did you not differentiate? Because somebody's coming here for a job interview, and somebody also is coming, for an example, to get pregnant. They want to be pregnant. Do you still use the same oil?
Yes, it is the same oil that they use, but they will come back with different stories. Remember, these are spirits in these oils. Once you use them, you apply, you will see something strange happening. It might be a dream. It might be that long lost partner who begins to call you. So once they start to see those signs, they come back and give a testimony. My phone says it's critical. The battery is low. The battery is low.
Okay. Do you want to charge and come back, or do you want us to resume tomorrow rather? And then
Yes,
we'll
let's
take.
resume tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm doing an interview on television tomorrow.
Okay. When do you think you want to come back? Because we have not even answered the questions at the bottom. Okay, guys, I think his line is gonna, yeah. Yeah, oh my God. I think his phone just died. But we will try to resume the conversation during the week because there's so much I want to ask him. And I think there's so much that you guys want to ask. I just, yeah, I just can't believe what's happening in these churches. You know, we are sold a lie. You're there to praise God and seek the Lord. but you've got these things that are happening right underneath our noses and we don't even know, you know. It's a tricky one because I can't even answer the questions on his behalf. I wanted him to answer all your questions. It's really, really scary. It's really, really shocking. And obviously, he's got a family. It's 15 minutes past 11. Most probably, he also wants to rest. But I think during the week, if not tomorrow, the following day, because I really want to carry on the conversation so that he's able to answer all your questions. There's so much that was really unsaid. There's more to the story. There's more to what they were doing in the church, more to what they were doing to young kids in the church, more to the cults that they were doing to gain power. There's still more that I was going to ask him. And I think you guys have so many questions as well. So I think we should resume tomorrow. I'm going to ask for a time. I'll call him in the morning and ask for an appropriate time. And I will announce it on my Instagram and other social media platforms. Man, I'm just shook right now. The dead bodies, the water that they use from mortuaries, you know, the possibility of them using organs in their muti that they take from mortuary. It's a possibility because he says he didn't do it. It doesn't mean the others didn't do it. It's a possibility, you know. There's just so much. And I want to know how he got out. What was the process of going out? What could he advise in terms of young people who need to get away from such people? How do you spot a real pastor and a fake one, you know? How do you spot oils that are genuine and oils that are not, and these waters and these things, you know? We walk around wearing these pastors' t-shirts and their caps, and we've got stickers and we've got all these things, but we don't know what we're walking around with. We really don't know what we're walking around with. I mean, they've got cups. You've got a cup. You don't know where that cup was washed. You know, they could have used water from a dead body to wash that cup before they give you. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, so we will start a bit earlier. I will ask for an appropriate time from him. I'll call him in the morning because it's rather late. He's an elderly man. I'm just speechless. Yeah, there's a lot. There's really a lot that we still need to unpack. I'm not satisfied. I'm really not satisfied. There's a lot we need to unpack. But I promise you guys, I'll make sure that it happens tomorrow or the following day. I'll give you the relevant information. Shout out to Owami. I see you in the comment sections and the ninjas. I see Tuli. I see Bukamoso. I see Usis Ayanda Mboro. Shoo, man, there's a lot. Forever Angela, Pumi. I see you guys. I see you guys. I see your comments. I'm definitely gonna speak to him and finish the conversation, and then I'm gonna bring my sangoma because I need the sangoma to explain these allegations. And I need a strong one because people are so scared to speak and they're so fearful. And I do understand the social media is daunting, the media is daunting. There are people who send us death threats on a regular, you know. So for other people, speaking like this is tricky. So I want a sangoma who will be able to be honest and explain things from a traditional point of view, from a morality point of view, from a social responsibility point of view, and also from a parent point of view. You know, when these things are happening as a parent, how do you feel giving somebody muti that will destroy a next person? So there's a lot of things that I really want us to unpack. So I'll finish this conversation with him and then come back and speak to Isangom. Oh, he's back, guys. Great. Let me find him. Thank you. Thank you. Let me find him. Ah, guys. And then you guys are just sending requests because now I see all these other requests. Guys, I can't see his name. I'm looking for his name. Prophet Makhado, can you log out of the app and then log back in and request again, because now I can't see your name. So can you log out of the app and log in again so that I'm able to see you? In Jesus' name, he's back. Amen. Amen and amen. I see the Bear Nation, which is my followers, and I see ninjas who are Owami's followers from the YouTube channel. So shout out to all of you. Let me find him. Oh, guys, I can't see him. Damn. Guys, can you see him? And guys, please don't get us wrong. We're not saying all pastors and all sangomas and all celebrities and all what. He's speaking from experience and he's just testifying on what he did. You know, so his truth is relative. So you can believe it or not, it's up to you. But he's just sharing as an elder to warn and educate all of us who are into charismatic churches, who are into understanding the world of spirituality. You know, we just want to learn more so that we know the signs. So please don't get us wrong. We're not saying people are doing things, but if they are, they are. You know, the truth is it's in the pudding. If the shoe fits, man. If the shoe fits. I'm trying to look for him. Guys, can you see him? Okay, maybe I should save this live and give him a call and start a new one. Is that a better option? Because I can't see him now. Yeah, I'm going to save this live and give him a call, and then we will come back because I really can't see him now. Okay, I'm going to save it and give him a call. I think, guys, it's best if we resume tomorrow. Because obviously there's going to be a lot of questions, and I want to take another 30-40 minutes just getting to the core of this thing. I don't think the 2-3 minutes that he's going to give us now, just, you know, it's almost 11:30. So let's all resume tomorrow. I'm going to save this and I'll give you a new time for the live to continue. And then next week I'll have a sangoma to come clear out things and explain things. So thank you so much for watching. I'll give you a new time tomorrow. Have a blessed evening. Don't forget to pray. I hope you learned something from this conversation. I see a lot of people are agreeing that we should resume tomorrow. I also feel like we need to resume tomorrow. So good night and God bless.